Hey everyone, my name is Derrick Ivey. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, intuitive healer, researcher, and instructor. Thank you for joining me here today on the YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to talk about raising our emotional baseline. So, we all, as human beings, we have this really wide range of emotional set points, right? So, oftentimes this is described as if someone won the lottery, they're going to rise up for a little bit and be really overjoyed, happy. There's going to be this emotional surge, but then they're probably going to come back down to their normal emotional baseline. Conversely, there's it also is true in the other direction. Someone's at their emotional baseline and they experience a loss, they're going to go down for a little bit, but eventually, as humans, our psyches help us maintain this equilibrium. So we're going to be brought back to baseline. So there's a few ways to kind of get an idea for where you're at and start skillfully raising that baseline. So, the beautiful thing about us as humans is yes, we do have a baseline that is there, from many different factors from our childhood, from our genetics, from what we believe about the world, but that baseline can be changed. It does take a commitment to yourself. I deserve to be in a higher emotional set point on a day-to-day basis. So that's where the first step is seeing that there's room for opportunity there. And it's not about a right or a wrong or a good or a bad. It just is, right? So I'm going to show you a technique to raise the baseline. And also, if you work with clients, this is something that you can really help people make good shifts and move to a higher place on that scale. So I'm just drawing something out right now to explain a little better. Okay, so um, here we have this scale. So that you see a -10 there, in the middle is 0, and on the other side is +10, right? So +10 over here, that would be you are ecstatic about life. You are so happy and grateful, and nobody can bring you down. 10, -10 would be seriously contemplating suicide. Now, there's nothing wrong with being at any place in the scale, but you're not going to be able to go from a -10 up to like a +5, right? There's going to be steps in between as you ease your way back up that scale. So let's talk about how do we do this. So, I did a post in my Facebook group, Quantum Shift Hypnosis and Energy Healing Society. And if you would like to learn more stuff about self-development, about hypnosis, about energy healing, that is an excellent group for you to be a part of. So I'd love for you to join us on Facebook if you're not already. And I asked in this group, what is everyone at? Where are you sitting? And I got a wide variation of responses. I had some people say I'm at a 5, Some people said I'm at a 12, like, which is great. They're doing excellent if they're at a 12, but then some people were in those more negative ranges. So really the basis of this is to make one of these scales for yourself. And if you're at a -10, what would bring you up to a -9? What would help you feel even just a little bit better? Then when you get to -9, what will get you to -8, right? And so what I want you to do is map this stuff out for you. What does a +10 look like for you? Because these are very, very objective. Different people are going to have way different things that trigger them to go down or up the scale. But what we're doing here is we're giving ourselves access to raising that no matter where on this scale we could be. Um, Now, another thing that if you're in a really negative place, what I'd like for you to do is think about the things that, no matter how many negative things are going on in your experience, think about the things that are going good, the things that you would like to see continue in your life. And that can be a great start. And that's not related to any of these positive or negative numbers, but it's something you could do to kind of warm yourself into that rising of the emotional set point. Connecting with gratitude, connecting with things that are working in life can really give us more evidence that, yeah, things really are working. My whole life isn't a mess. Maybe there's one or two aspects that I could improve on, but my whole life isn't a mess. And that can give you a little bit of hope because the human mind is so dramatic, and oftentimes, how often do we have a situation that we're going through in life and our brains just want to catastrophize it and go to the worst case scenario possible, and then that's that story, that's the narrative that we're running, and then that's keeping us in those lower numbers. So another exercise that I've done with clients is I've had them write themselves a letter from each of these set points, and kind of over time they gather these collections of letters to themselves to have around. So if they find themselves back in a -8, well, you know what? We have a letter from the -7 version that's going to help me get back to a -7. And breaking all of this down into those smaller chunks is absolutely vital, I think, because it's so unmanageable seeming when we're at maybe a -7 and we see all of these people around us that are at a 10, or we think they're at a 10, because with social media, people have the tendency to only share their 10 stories and they don't show those lower scales, but we all go through a wide range of different scales. So really, this is something you can do to start working your way back to a really good place. And you're not, if you're wrecked, if you're at a -9 right now and life does not seem fun at all, it does not seem rewarding, remember that you have a different chemical composition in your brain than you would if you were at a 9. So you're not going to be able to see the world in that way. But maybe today you can work on getting to a -8, and maybe you'll stay at -8 for a couple days, and then maybe you'll go to -6 in a couple days, right? So just have patience with yourself through this process. But this is a great actionable tool that you can use right now. You can kind of get an idea of where you're at on this scale and what you're able to move to today. And you can dream with the lid off. You can look at the ideal versions of yourself as you're moving up the scale. That's what it is to be quantum, is to be able to go into different timelines and utilize the energetics from those timelines and integrate that back into your life experience here. So if you're really struggling, if you're having a rough time, really don't struggle in silence, because of course that's the most natural thing to do, is to kind of go inward and to isolate when things aren't going so well. But those are really the times that we need to lean into our support networks even more. We need to be candid about what we're experiencing. And by staying silent, what we're doing is we're denying the gifts that the universe has available to us in that moment by blocking them out. So, but also, if you're at a -9, it's not going to be easy for you to ask for help. So, what can you do to get to a -8? And maybe at a -7, you can ask for help. So, there's always hope to start shifting things just a little bit better. And that's how those shifts happen. We don't have the type of shifts where you are at a -9 and you have an energy healing session and you're automatically healed and you're back to a 10. That is not how things work. There's no quick fixes, there's no get rich quick schemes when it comes to healing. This is a process, and there's going to be a lot of love and compassion and wisdom that opens up in you through that process. But you're not alone here, and there's so many souls that are here to help you and here to assist our planet at this time up leveling. So I hope you enjoyed this technique. I hope it gives you some stuff to go and take out into your life today and start improving your circumstances, improving your vibration, which is ultimately going to improve your what you're seeing in your hologram, which is your external reality. So if you love self-development, stuff like this, if you love helping people shift, if you want to understand the mechanics of all of this and energy and the quantum realm, timelines, soul healing, soul retrieval, past life regression, psychic communication on the causal realm, if that type of stuff really interests you, I highly recommend that you look into joining us in our Quantum Shift development program. This is a certification program that takes you from feeling lost, feeling unable to shine your light and really get the full effect of your gifts on this planet, to a place where you're fully confident through deep knowledge and applications. So you can share your light with this world, you can heal yourself through that process, and also share those gifts with the world through service or your own spiritual business. So it has been so amazing spending this time with you here today, and I really appreciate you being here and being present and being open-minded. Thank you so much for watching from the bottom of my heart. And if these kind of talks are something that really help you, then please subscribe. You're going to see more of these every week from DGT Wellness, and info about the programs or booking with me is on dgtwellness.com. And that is how you book an appointment with me. And you can also book strategy calls on there where there's no obligation, no pressure. We just talk and get to know each other. And if it makes sense, then you'll get information about working with me. But I always believe in divine timing, divine paths to get to where you need to be. So, blessings to your journey. You are a divine, expansive being, and hope you have a blessed day.